Welcome, everyone, to this beautiful spot on the Slovenian coast and the town of Portorož. We are located in what used to be an old sea salt warehouse built over 200 years ago. And what are we here for? We are here to meet the dream team behind the design and construction of the new Elan yacht, the new Elan E6. I would like to start with inviting on stage Marko Škrbin, director of Elan Yachts. Marko was recently honored with the Rising Star Award in the Medstrade 2021 Best Builder Awards and is the driving force behind the ambitious project we're about to present. Marko, please join me on stage. Welcome. Živijo, zdravo, izvolite.
Hvala.
Marko, najprej vse čestitke ob prejemu omenjene nagrade prej in hkrati za uresničitev tako ambicioznega projekta.
Hvala.
In naj kar takoj potipam najprej malo o Elanu, potem pa kaj je res tako posebnega o Elan barkah in kaj o E6.
Ja, najprej je treba poudariti, da Elan kot proizvajalec plovil ima zelo dolgo zgodovino. Smo eni izmed najstarejših ladjedelnic na svetu, vsaj v našem segmentu. In skozi to zgodovino se je nabralo veliko enih izkušenj, ki so se prenašale iz roda v rod. Smo naredili en velik napredek skozi to obdobje in seveda, kadarkoli delamo kakršnekoli nove projekte, je vedno pomembno, da sledimo svoji viziji, da zasledujemo svoj nek DNK. To se pravi, da omogočamo neke izdelke, rešitve, ki ponujajo našim kupcom nepozabna doživetja, preko katerih ustvarjajo nepozabne spomine. In vedno iščemo pri katerikoli novi barki, iščemo vedno ta, mi pravimo, crossover balans, to se pravi balans med na eni strani performansom in na drugi strani med udobjem in komoditetami, ki pritičejo današnjemu času. Zdaj, kar se same E-linije tiče in dotično E6 plovila, je pa ta performance del mora biti toliko bolj izražen. To se pravi, na nek način iščemo neko dualno plovilo, s katerim lahko, ne vem, mož gre na regato s svojimi prijatelji, dosega zelo dobre rezultate, visoke hitrosti in po drugi strani pelje svojo družino komot na eno 3-tedensko jadranje z vsemi komoditetami, ki pritičejo enemu takmu dopustu.
Barvito in čudovito ste opisali vaš Elanov DNK, predvsem pa to združevanje obeh svetov. Naj vam še naprej gladko teče. Iskrene čestitke ob tako ambicioznem projektu in kljukici, da ste jo uspešno spravili med nas na svet.
Najlepša hvala.
Hvala lepa, Marko. Thank you, Marko. We're switching back to English as we're being joined via video call with Tom and Rob Humphreys, the brains behind the naval architecture of the E6. Humphreys Yacht Design have been collaborating with Elan for more than 25 years, and together they have introduced offshore, shore-handed racing features into the cruising segment. This story started with the legendary Elan 333 and reached its first peak with the introduction of the multiple award-winning Elan 350. Hello, Rob. Hello, Tom. Thank you for your time and thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having us. Great.
Good to see you, good to hear you. Can you tell us a little bit more about the brief Elan sent to you for the Elan E6 and how does it relate to the history of the Elan E-line?
The brief was really to try and push the performance of the E6 beyond what would typically be considered feasible for a mid-40-foot high-volume production yacht. So in many ways, it was building on the past in terms of what where the E-line has been, but looking to really try and take things to a new level. There was a much more aggressive approach to weight saving, for instance, so building on Elan's own in-house vacuum infusion process, but also bringing in composite engineering from Gurit. So that's just really allowed things to be pushed to a new level.
How has the hull form evolved and what is special and exciting about the E6?
I suppose from my side, key drivers really to enhance the performance. It's really been about minimizing, finding ways to minimize the displacement, whilst at the same time trying to maximize stability and which essentially gives you the sail carrying power when you're sailing. So those features have obviously have been trying to be addressed with lighter composite structures, and then really the stability comes out of really the hull form and the keel. We've got a relatively deep draft on the boats, which has allowed us to carry quite a bit of mechanical stability with the deep T keel, and then with this lighter displacement, we've just been able to be a bit more aggressive with how we shape the hull form, and we're a relatively slender on the waterline, but relatively wide beam and the chines, which start to pick up a lot of stability as soon as we start to heel and lean on those chines.
You were talking about the hull shape and the sail plan that needed some accommodation, and of course they need to accommodate many different sailor profiles. But this combining the two worlds sounds very exciting, but also the next question is exciting. How fast did you design the yacht to be?
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly that's a good point. We're trying to design for different configurations, so different keel options, different sailor profiles and things like that. But yeah, I mean, certainly when you start to look at the performance rig with the performance keel, the performance is getting pretty exciting for this sort of yacht. And, we're certainly seeing well over 8 knots of boat speed upwind in anything over 12 knots true wind speed, and then double digits downwind in, anything from sort of 12, 13 knots upwards. So no, it should be an exciting performance profile for the yacht.
The boat's capable of doing well on the race course, but it's a good family yacht as well, in that the short-handed nature of sailing these days, where sometimes it's difficult to get big crews and just general family sailing, with the twin rudders, the control and is pretty important. And Elan are very experienced in this market sector, and this takes it to another level.
You're talking about this exciting project. It was fun to be creative and co-work again. How was it for you too, personally?
You see things very much the same way, really, and but it's good to have two heads on the same problem, and it's and really sort of 3 heads, because Elan has a big sort of part of the team, and with Marco running the team, it's been great decisions internally.
Thank you for sharing with us your 2 heads and your insights and your energy and inputs. I kindly and warmly say goodbye and thank you for your time as we continue on. As we have just learned, designing the sail plan is mostly a scientific endeavor, and the hull form is a mixture of art and science. But what we will talk about next is mostly art. It's pure creative design, merging aesthetics with functionality, style with ergonomics. Leading the aesthetic part of the design and joining us today is Daniele Mazzon, Chief Transportation Designer from the world-renowned industrial design powerhouse Pininfarina. Daniele, please join me on stage. Nice to meet you. Take a seat. How are you? You okay?
Good.
Good? Excited?
Yeah, good.
Pininfarina is quite an exciting company to talk about as well. It's the studio behind some of Ferrari's most iconic cars and more than 600 other projects in transportation design. Pininfarina won more than 50 awards in the last 10 years. Congratulations. And in the nautical world, you're behind the Wally 101, Persico F70, and Tango Wally 100 yachts, among others. How will the E6 add to the legacy of Pininfarina?
Since in the beginning of the history of Pininfarina, it has always a great passion, performance and design on the supercar. So we work on the different mayor of a brand in the world. And sustainability, on the other hand, is always included in this process. In the 70s, during the energetic crisis, Pininfarina opened the first wind tunnel in Italy, and in the 78 also developed the first electric vehicles. So performance and sustainability is always included in the design process. Also in the sailing boat, like the E6, is perfectly fit.
And being fast, obviously. Fast cars, fast yachts. What inspired you in E6 design?
Sure, we're starting from the characteristics of Elan, so what we already developed in the design history, and mixes with Pininfarina characters. We give this performance and muscular shape in order to give the feeling of racing and performance to the boat.
Can you tell us about the challenges and opportunities you had during the design process? Did you have a lot of ideas? Were you struggling, or was it good to begin from zero?
Yeah, we started from scratch, so it's also always good opportunity in order to design something new and something special. We always work in parallel with a naval architect and with the shipyard, so it's really important to us this challenge in order to make a really iconic and good product.
Do you have your favorite feature from the design? Is it the exterior? Is it the interior? What do you like the most personally?
Yeah, we like the boat because we finalize so every detail, we design every detail, everything. But probably on the exterior is the main port light on the deck, but became really iconic, really fit into the design on the characteristic of Elan. And on the interior, another good example is the stairs, the main stairs in the saloon, that is a really important and iconic piece of art in the middle of the saloon, and that it has pushed forward the classical stairs that we have in this type of sailboat.
Do you have your favorite materials incorporated in the yacht? Which materials did you use?
Yeah, we play on the interior, on really on the details. We have a piece of black part, matte black part, that give that technological and performance approach.
And what about the wood? How is this? Is it?
Yeah, wood and fabric. We select all this material, but we reduce in this boat a bit the wood feeling, but we integrate more white and to give the clear to the ambience. And also this fabric, fabric more technological, with really good touch and this type of pattern on it. And also this detail in black give this feeling of performance.
Thank you for your insights and your answers. I can't wait. I think we all can't wait to see the Elan E6 in person. And it sounds like a unique design, and it will definitely stand the test of time. Thank you, Daniele.
Thank you to you.
And now I would like to invite back on the stage Marko Škrbin, director of Elan Yachts, and actually people who build them. With them, head of R&D, Blaž Javornik, technical director, Primož Vilman, and head of product development and quality, Matic Škerjanc, joining us on video call. Guys, warmly welcome. Še enkrat lepo pozdravljeni, kar na stol. Zdravo, me veseli. Zdravo, izvolite. In še pozdrav preko video povezave, se slišimo, vse štima?
Vse štima.
Odlično, dobrodošli. Povejte mi, zakaj prav Elan E6? Komu je ta barka namenjena?
V 9 letih, odkar smo prekinali z izdelavo Elan 450, je bil čas, da dopolnimo našo osnovno linijo, ki je hkrati tudi naš DNK, z dolgo pričakovanim modelom E6. E6 je namenjena zahtevnim kupcem. To so kupci, ki se že dlje časa ukvarjajo z jadranjem in so imeli v lasti več plovil. hkrati pa so jadralci po duši. To plovilo zdržuje tako regatno jadranje, kot tudi vse potrebe družine za daljše potovanje.
Hvala, Matic. Bi še kdo kaj dopolnil? Je še kakšen ščepec za dodati?
Ja, dejansko je to jadrnica za neke izkušene jadralce, ki imajo zelo izkristaliziran, kaj si želijo. To se pravi, ponavadi to niso začetniki, so že imeli neki plovil prej in si izkristalizirajo dejansko, kaj bi radi, in to so res tisti, ki uživajo v tem prvinskem jadranju.
Kakšne so pa tehnološke specifike te barke? Kaj je prispeval Gurit pri projektu?
Ja, naš direktor nas je konstantno opozarjal, da se moramo držati nizke teže plovila. Zato smo recimo v standardno konfiguracijo dodali vinil-estrski trup. Zdaj sam Gurit, oni so ekstremni eksperti na področju preračunavanja laminat planov in so zelo lepo dopolnili naša znanja o laminatih. Njihova naloga je bila, in tudi največ časa so posvetili temu, da so določili, kateri laminati na katera območja grejo, da jih ni preveč, ker bi na eni strani pomenili, da bo barka pretežka, oziroma da jih ni premalo, ker bi pač ogrozili samo konstrukcijsko trdnost plovila.
Ja, mislim, da je to lepo
To je
povzame.
to. Inženirske rešitve, ki jih barka ponuja, so pa tudi posebne, drugačne. Druge barke nimajo povsem takšnih rešitev. In kako ste zdaj prišli do te nizke teže, ki jo tako radi omenjamo in malo častimo danes?
Zdaj, sama barka je narejena modularno. To pomeni, da je pač lahko opremljena za klasično družinsko jadranje, še vedno hitro. Na drugi strani se pa lahko pač barko naredi tudi zelo, bomo rekli, športno. Zdaj, samo težo smo držali tako nizko zato, ker je pač na eni strani nam gospod direktor skozi nas je opozarjal, da pač je to naš cilj. Zdaj, same rešitve, ko smo prišli do tega, je recimo, da smo pohištvene dele vpeljali tudi v strukturne dele, kar pomeni, da se pač deli ne podvajajo in se tudi teže ne podvaja. In s tem smo pač dosegli ta cilj, ki smo si ga tako želeli.
Primož, bi še kaj dodali?
Ja, s podjetjem Gurit smo imeli kar nekaj sestankov, se pravi tako na področju razvoja, kot tudi pač proizvodne. In skupaj smo predvsem iskali prave materiale, ki so primerni za vgradnjo v naši proizvodnji in seveda istočasno zagotavljajo določene standarde in pa kvaliteto.
Je gospod direktor ta največji vizionar v podjetju, ki daje najtežje, najbolj iskrive naloge, je bila težka.
Cilje, ki
Tako.
Naša naloga pa je, da jih pač sledimo in realiziramo.
Vedno se ženemo, da smo z vsakim naslednjim projektom boljši. Jaz moram priznati, ja, da, kot so že fantje povedali, da smo kar zahtevni, ampak jaz mislim, da na koncu dneva, potem, ko pride rezultat, vsi vemo zakaj in smo zadovoljni, in jaz upam, da so tudi fantje potem malo bolj razumevajoči pri temu, ki jih jaz malo bolj pritiskam.
Se verjetno je vsem užitek, ko je cilj dosežen in ko so rezultati uspešno odkljukani. Kakšni so bili pa izzivi pri proizvodnji in kako recimo lahko zagotavljamo takšno kvaliteto gradnje? S čim ste se vse soočali?
Ja, glavni izzivi so bili seveda v prvi vrsti pravilna in prava izbira materialov, izdelava pohištva v 3 barvah, izdelava krme kot del trupa. Seveda smo pa pri tem projektu uporabili vse do zdaj nabrano znanje in izkušnje iz naše preteklosti. Samo kvaliteto lahko nadzorujemo in držimo seveda z visoko postavljenimi cilji same izdelave, kontrolo in nadzorom le-njih in seveda z visoko usposobljenim kadrom, ki se na dnevni bazi nadgrajuje in izobražuje.
In ki ga spoznavamo prvo osebno danes nekateri, veliko pa preko video vsebine. In zdaj še na videoklic se obrnem in malo naslovimo vprašanje, kako lahko barko naredimo bolj regatno in kako jo opremimo bolj za cruising. Najprej recimo, da začneva pri Maticu, potem pa lahko še dopolnite vi.
Ja, barka je v osnovi se jo da prilagoditi predvsem z izbiro dodatne opreme in nekih opcij, ki so namenjene bolj regatnemu jadranju. Se pravi, lahko je barka brez platform, brez boksov, brez hladilnikov, lahko je narejena po standardni tehnologiji, lahko jo pa nadgradimo tudi na palubi, rečemo z vakuumsko infuzijo in na ta način še olajšamo. Tako da Opcije je veliko.
Kaj je vakuumska infuzija, recimo za eno neznalko? Se da to poenostaviti in razložiti?
To v bistvu poenostavljeno pomeni, da mi pač položimo suha vlakna v kalup, potem na eni strani dovajamo smolo, ki je na drugi strani, po domače povedano, sesalec vleče čez kalup in to je v bistvu zaprt sistem. To pomeni, da pač je stvar zelo kontrolirana in po drugi strani je ekološko zelo neoporečna, zato ker pač delavec nima stika z klepljivimi snovmi.
Pravi, tudi pri proizvodnji mislite napredno. Najlepša hvala vsem 4 tokrat, da ste bili spet eni ponovno v moji družbi, eni prvič in iskrene čestitke ob Elan E6.
Hvala lepa.
And now I would like to invite on the stage Luigi Coretti, CEO of Adria Ship, distributor of Elan in Italy. Luigi, welcome. Where are you? Join me on stage. Hello, nice to meet you. Ciao. Ciao, take a seat. Luigi, Adria Ship has been Elan Yachts distributor for over 2 generations. The company was started by your father. How many years, how long have you been Elan's partners?
Yeah, it's a long time because we started in 1997. Actually, we signed the first contract during the boat show in Genova. So next October will be 25 years that you are working together with Elan. So we can say that, you know, almost 50% of my life was together with Elan. We are part of the family, and that's why today we are here.
Quarter of a century anniversary,
yes.
Actually.
Yes.
The Elan E-Line yachts are very popular in the Mediterranean Sea, we could say. Can you guess why? Why is it?
I would say that Elan was always one step forward, actually. Many milestones that we know from this nautical world are coming from Begunia, coming from the Slovenian shipyard. Concerning to the E-Line, that is the most popular, at least in Italy, in the Med area, actually the 60-60 concept was the strongest one, because the idea to have a boat that you can perform, that you can enjoy, that you can sail, that if you want, you can even perform, but even make regatta, so having fun, not just motoring, bringing the mast around, like we say, but at the same time you use the same boat to go on holiday, to go with your family, to go with your girlfriend, to have your holidays. At the end, it was a concept that was very strong. It is the main thing that brought Elan popular on the market. And when we talk about this concept, the milestone from Elan was for sure the introducing of the twin rudder system with the 450, that then implemented with the Chinal and with the 350 that was awarded as boat of the year, make a very step forward, because at the end, thanks to this concept, the boat is even easier to steer, even easier to control. You know, at the beginning we had a lot of problem to persuade clients that the boat was so easy. But when you sail the first time with Elan, then you immediately feel that you have always your boat under control. And you don't have to fight with your wife, your girlfriend, because at the end, when you go inside, you have everything what you need. So this was the concept that make Elan and E-Line in particular very, very popular, very, very strong on the Med area.
Combining the best of all worlds.
That's what said Rob before and
yes.
Tom, yes.
How big is the potential of the E6? What excites you personally about the yacht?
I think that from what we see, that the E6, we are making one step forward. One step forward because we are moving from a 60-60 to a 70-70, because the boat will be even more performance, will be even more fast, will be for sure always a boat easy to control, because all the boats from Humphrey Design were very easy handling. But on the other hand, when we will go inside, thanks to Pininfarina, thanks to the style of the interior, for sure will be a boat that will say, wow. At the end, you will have a wow when you are sailing. When you have, especially in light wind, I think that the boat will be really, really fast. a wow when we go inside. So 2 wow will make for sure a great boat, a boat that we were expecting and a boat that I'm sure will have a great success.
How many times did you see Elan E6 in person? Did you spend time together, one-on-one? Did you meet the yacht already?
But it's a bit, secret, so we cannot say that. But we will discover the boat all together now, yes.
I think so, yes. Okay, I will take you for your word. Thank you, Luigi. Thank you to all our speakers and guests. Thank you, audience, and thank you, viewers, watching us from wherever you are. And now I think it's time to stop talking, stop teasing, and finally reveal what we're here for. In front of us, new, fresh Elan E6 yacht. Thank you for staying with us so far, but this is still not the end. Now we will hop on board and I will take you on a quick tour. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We are on board this beauty with David, Head of Marketing at Elan Yachts. David, can you show me around?
Absolutely, Ula. Thank you very much for coming aboard this beautiful yacht. We are here in the cockpit of the E6. This cockpit has been optimized by a team of experienced Olympic sailors, especially when it comes to the position of the onboard equipment. We have 3 sets of winches, the halyard winches, the Genoa winches, and the main sheet winches right here. And there's a lot of space, either for nice cruising, enjoying on board, and of course for a team which can do really good maneuvers in a regatta situation. In standard specification, the cockpit comes equipped already with perma-teak, which is this artificial teak on the cockpit floor, which of course you can upgrade with the full teak. As every sailor knows, you need a lot of space on board a yacht, especially in the cockpit. There's a lot of equipment you need to store around. That's why the E6 has a lot of storage lockers. First, I want to show you these that are right here. These are basically rope storage lockers. You can feed the main sheet lines inside through this convenient channel. Also, you can keep in cables, additional sheets, and also here you have a shower head, which you can pull out and use on the bathing platform. On the cockpit benches, here you have on both sides, you have nice storage lockers for any other equipment. They're fairly deep and long.
Yeah,
so
very spacious.
A lot of space. And this is of course on both sides.
Yeah.
Additionally, there's another storage locker right here in the bottom. Here you can either keep the life raft or any other equipment you might wish. This E6 comes equipped with a large bathing platform. You also can order the E6 with a small bathing platform, which comes to the height of the cockpit floor. If you are configuring a more performance version of the E6, of course you would choose to go without the platform at all to save that bit of weight. The E6 also comes equipped with cockpit boxes, is what we call them. These are optional and can either be also large storage lockers or, in a more cruising specification, grill.
Wow.
And on your side, if you can move away a little bit.
I will assist you.
Yeah.
So, voila.
The refrigerator.
Oh, great.
So you have everything on hand. Here, moored in a bay, nice grilling. cold drinks.
Beautiful.
Through the things that we've seen now, I think you already can see the mark of Pininfarina. They have really designed all of the lines around the cockpit and the whole yacht, of course, to be compatible, to be beautiful. And this is, I think, fairly evident when you look at these steering pedestals. They are really nicely shaped and, of course, very practical as well. You have a lot of space here for large electronic equipment. Of course, steering wheel, we have composite steering wheels in standard, which you can upgrade to even carbon fiber steering wheels. When you're sailing, when you're heeled, of course the yacht can heel quite a lot. You have these footrests that you can pop up, so you're stable even when the boat is heeled. The E6 has a backstay tensioner that's split, goes on both sides. That's why you can have this clear transition to the platform or to hop on and off. But also on both sides, optionally, you can have hydraulic backstay tensioners. So either you're on this side or that side, you have quick access and adjust the tension. The main sheet on the E6 comes installed in this recessed main sheet situation, where the lines of the main sheet are inside the cockpit, so you don't trip when you walk over it. On a performance cruiser like the E6, you need a clean cockpit, so the crew can work, do the maneuvers without any, impeding elements. But the cruising part, of course, you need a table in the cockpit to enjoy, outside. So the E6 can either come with a removable table. It has carbon fiber legs with a teak top, or you can choose a fixed table and has foldable wings. As I mentioned before, the E6 comes equipped with 3 sets of winches. These in standard are all Harken winches, which can be upgraded to Harken Performer winches, or even electronic ones, which come especially handy on these winches here in the front, which are for the halyards. Of course, you can do it with your hand, but at a certain point, it's just more convenient, press a button. The E6 is the latest and the newest yacht within the Elan E-line. Elan E-line has been around for a while, and it already has a recognizable design style on the water. So when Pininfarina took the project in their hands, they had to pay homage to already the recognizable shapes and lines of the Elan E-line, with giving their own touch, right? With giving their own interpretation. And one of the distinctive elements that they've included is this beautiful fold of black windows that continue and then folds up on the coach roof. Industrial design is not only about something being beautiful, but also about being ergonomic, practical, useful. And before I mentioned the lines and the fold that Pininfarina made here, and this also, from a styling perspective, continues all through the yacht and on the coach roof, but we also put raster everywhere that you need so you don't slip when you work. The E6 comes equipped with a Citadin aluminum mast, but for a real performance configuration of the yacht, you can choose a taller carbon mast that comes in combination with a deeper composite keel. Here at the bow, we have a very large sail locker. I could climb inside, no problem. Or you can store several sets of sails, Jenaker, Code Zero, or a full set of fenders for the yacht. Continuing on, we have the anchor locker with the anchor windlass. And right at the front here is the carbon fiber bowsprit. It's completely made out of carbon fiber and it's included in the standard specification of the yacht. Welcome inside the E6.
It's amazing.
It has a fairly traditional layout. This is a 3-cabin version. Also a 4-cabin version is available. But within this, let's say, sailing tradition, which every sailor is used to, you have this amazing flair of Pininfarina. You can really see the Italian styling around the interior. All right, let me show you the galley. This is a Carrock. You have a front opening fridge right here.
Yes.
And a top opening fridge in this position.
So 3 fridges altogether.
3 fridges altogether, exactly. Or you can choose not to have this one, and you can install, or we can install, a microwave or a coffee machine that sinks inside and comes up when you need it, basically. So you have the flush countertop. Here you have a double sink. course, the stove. In reality, it looks like you don't have any space, right? But there's a lot of little cupboards here. Here behind, I think you have a lot of space for little oils or spices and stuff like that, and it's kept tightly inside. And of course, 2 large cupboards right here. Since we're already here, I think I should say something about these stairs. Traditionally, on the E-Line and a lot of other yachts, the stairs are wooden. But in cooperation with Pininfarina, we've created these out of GRP. They're very stable, and of course they're a quite imposing centerpiece in the interior that I think really is beautiful. In every E6 layout you have 2 aft cabins. They're fairly spacious because of the wide beam that the E6 has. You have also a lot of space inside for any luggage you might have, and a nice, snuggle, comfy place to sleep. The E6 also has 2 heads, one here in the saloon and an ensuite in the master cabin.
Can I check this one out?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Wow. Full shower, a lot of space, a sink, loads of mirrors. I could stay here comfortably. So now we're entering the
Saloon.
saloon. Can I sit?
Yeah, absolutely, please do. You know, Elan has been building yachts since 1949. And the first boats that we've been building were wooden. So our tradition with woodwork actually started there, a long time ago. And this craftsmanship has stayed within this mentality of really detailed handmade wood, really stayed with us. And I think you can see the difference with a lot of other yachts that we really, our woodwork is top notch. And on the E6, we are using natural wood veneered plywood in combination with solid wood finish, especially on elements where they experience more wear and tear. Otherwise, the standard furniture is made to be light. You can also upgrade it with an even lighter wood combination with Okume core on elements where you can really save weight of the interior. As you can see, this is quite large saloon. There's a lot of seating space here. Why? Because in the 4-cabin version of this yacht, 10 people can comfortably sleep in this inside. That's why this saloon is this large. We are actually quite dwarfed, you know, by all of this space here. The table opens up and creates this large surface area for dinners, for board games, for enjoying evenings. And also this part of the saloon converts into another double berth. You might ask me, where is the navigation table on this 47-foot yacht, right? Well, we have this very mature design that we've actually taken from other E-Line yachts. And we have this swivel settee right here that you can turn around, and this whole space becomes your navigation table, your mini office, if you wish. Inside the navigation table, there's a lot of space for different tools, and actually in this backrest, there's a large space for all of your maps. Continuing on, I want to show you this control panel. We've actually started including this control panel, and for the first time on the GT5. We've developed this with a company called Sea Marine, and since then we've had to include it on all of our yachts. It was also awarded by Dame Design. Here you have all of the information you want right here on this little display about the yacht, and all of the switches right here, they're touch. And they also indicate if there's something wrong. If everything is fine, you have this green color, but it also switches to red if there's any problem in the electronics.
So everything is totally digital?
Well, not really, right? Because you want that security. If something goes wrong, you know, with digital, you never know. So that's why we have manual overrides
Another secret compartment.
Right here, exactly. Right here in the back. So for all of the switches, you have manual overrides right here. So you know that you're secure, you can control the yacht even in, different conditions. And here you have also quick access to all of the fuses. On a large space like this, right, and when you're on a longer voyage, sailing upwind, you're heeled, you need a thing to grab when you're moving around, right?
Yeah.
That's why we've included these grab rails here on the coach roof, on the ceiling. And Pininfarina had made sure that they are stylish as well. They're nicely curved, included in all of this ambient lighting. So it's functional, but also beautiful. And I think, it's a really good feature. I think you've already noticed 3 different colors that Pininfarina chose, that actually everything, fits well with each other. You have a nice color palette within the yacht. But here, of course, is especially prominent. These lines that actually surround the island bed that we have here in the master cabin. It's a large space. There's a lot of storage behind me here on the side and all around. And I think the Pininfarina design really made it a comfortable, luxurious space in the front.
And definitely a plus point is having your own ensuite. So your own sink, your own toilet, your own shower. And I can see where it closes in. Very spacious, very elegant, beautiful. Thank you, David, for this wonderful, unique first-hand tour. It was really an unforgettable experience.
Yeah, thank you, Ula. I was glad to have you on board.
My pleasure. Thank you for spending time with us on this amazing Elan E6. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.